Raise your hand if you want to make money doing something that you really like doing. And raise your hand again if you not only want to like it, but you want to do something that really matters to you, something that's significant, that makes a difference, that you care about. In fact, someone say aye. Aye. You're all there, they're here, Notandi. You may be here for a couple of reasons this morning. Maybe you're looking at a title like Finding a Career You Love and thinking, you know, that belongs to other people. Maybe you're at some kind of career crossroad yourself and thinking, is it possible that you can find work that really is fun for you to do, that gives you energy but also earns you the kind of income that you think you deserve? Maybe you're here because you're hoping the careers fair will deliver some magic careers for you. You just haven't seen it yet this morning. And you're hoping that something else is going to arrive a bit later for you. Maybe it's a career crossroad of your own. And you're wondering, is this all there is? What I want to talk to you about in the very short time we have together is how do you actually find work that you really love? And so I want to talk to you about the art, if you like, of finding work that you love doing. And it is an art. You see, the reality right now is that if you look at South Africa, nearly 7 out of 10 people are in jobs they don't like. Worldwide, twice as many people in the workplace are disengaged compared to one that is engaged. The question you might be asking is, so why bother? Why take the energy? The reality is the workplace has changed dramatically. I work in corporations across the country and have been doing for about 12 years. Jobs are no longer secure, so the new job security is people who know what they're good at. The people who are finding jobs that have confidence to do that are those that know what they like, are getting better at it, are learning, and are making a contribution that they care about. I needed a system to make career decisions. And maybe you do. And I wanted just to imagine that this stage here is a lifeline. Because there are people at 17 that are saying, what do I want to do with my life? And then I'm meeting women of 28. As you know, perhaps you don't, women make decisions earlier than men. So at 28, they're making really good decisions, but they're suddenly saying, this doesn't work for me. I've got a really good job, but I don't like this. So we have the 39ers. We're starting to now get the 55ers that decided that they were going to retire early. But after 2 years of painting the boat and fixing the holiday house, they realize they have another 30 years to go. We now apparently are going to live to 106. So you're going to make many more decisions than you've ever made before. So what I've done over the last couple of years is to design a system, if you like. Because I've discovered there are 4 things that people struggle with when they make careers. The first thing they struggle with is making a decision at all. How do you actually make a decision? Because the decision is based on various things, and when you can't make the decision, then everything you do seems to be going nowhere. The second thing that I notice people struggle with is they simply don't know where to start. And so they make a decision, but perhaps you've also made a decision and you're kind of going round and round, coming back and saying, well, let me do another course, another self-development course, let me do an MBA, come back, but I still don't know what I want to do. And so starting is, how do you actually find out what you want to do? The third thing I know is people struggle with is managing themselves. And I've spent the whole of this week, if you were with me this week, I was in Johannesburg till late last night, working with a group of executives that are simply wanting to increase their own assertiveness and managing themselves in the workplace. And many of them are turning their lives around. But here's the real key, because I think the fourth one is that people don't know how to get paid for what they love doing. Do you know that job hunting has now become one of the most sought-after skills on the planet? Because we don't know how to job hunt. Right now, more than 85% of jobs are not advertised anyway. And so the chances are that maybe you're looking in the wrong place. So I've designed a system that I've called the Career Warriors Action System. You see, a career warrior for me is someone who has purpose, who wants purpose, who actually wants to make a difference. And I think we all want to make a difference, don't you? The second thing a warrior does is to know your tools and to be able to use them. What are you good at? Do you know what that is? And are you an expert at that? Or are you just another average that's doing something that belongs to someone else? And thirdly, the courage to take action, and courage is a decision. It's not a feeling, it's a decision. It's a decision to take action. And so what I've designed is 2 systems. I know how to decide, and there are 2 parts of that. The one is, what is the heart of the warrior? In other words, what is inside your career? Career is first an inside job. And a career has a shape. It has an anatomy. So if you take a heart, it has a component that is the area of fascination you want to be involved in. It has a component that's about skills that you love using. It has a component about environment, about culture, about people, about the kind of money you want to earn, the kind of working conditions that work for you, the kind of environment that gives you energy, the kind of field you want to be involved in. The second system I've designed at the Career Warriors School and what we teach our students is how to identify their own skills. I'm astounded by the number of people, maybe you, where I say, what are you really good at? No, I've got a law degree. I want to know what you're really good at. If I had the power to create a job for you and I said, what do you really want to do every day? Can you answer that? Do you know what that is? So the question is it's about lifestyle, it's about skills. But I can tell you many people along the road that say to me, this doesn't pay, this doesn't work, people don't buy what you do. This is just a passion. And I think we've sometimes got caught in careers that as long as you're passionate, it's enough, it's not enough. Because even if you know what you want to do, you've still got to start. You've still got to find information. And so I've created a system called the Data Creator with how do we find that information? It's the action weaver. Often we're waiting for something like a Big Bang theory before we take action. And weaving is about how can you start that. The third thing is managing yourself. And so one of the things we teach our students is how to manage change. Those are largely part of corporate programs where people understand change, but they're not managing it themselves. And the second is the behavior blueprint. And so the last 4 days, we have a 4-day program called Assertive Leadership that I watch people turn their lives around with. And that's not because of what we're doing, but simply because they're at the place to change it. And my question to you would be, are you at a place where you're willing to make some changes? The fourth is you have to get paid. It's interesting, they say that job hunting is like dating. It's like two people looking at each other and thinking, do I want to see you again? But you also don't find your first partner on the first date. And so part of that change is about how do you create those connections? How do you have those conversations? How do you connect with people? But you can't have a date if you don't know who you are. So there's also something that we teach people at the Career Warriors School, which is the gift wrap guru. How do you actually wrap what you do? A career isn't just for you. I think our careers are to make the world a better place. So when you start job hunting, it's not just about what you want. It's what I can do for you. And if somebody asked you, middle of the night, what can you do for me? What is the value that you can bring to that organization? I'm going to take you into one of the processes. If you see, if we looked at let's go back to the heart of the warrior. I just want to take you into one of those and perhaps give you some time to think about one of those. It's just the white heart. Because I think one of the first things perhaps to start, if you're thinking, how do I start this journey? I think it's that space of beginning to hear your own voice. How many voices in your head? What do the people tell you that you grew up, that you can't do that? That doesn't pay. That's not a proper job. That doesn't work in South Africa. And maybe you've heard so many of those voices that you've become your own worst enemy. What are the things you want to change? If you could wave a wand, what is that voice inside of you that says, that's something that I really want to change? If I gave you an open check to attend a conference anywhere in the world, what would you want to do? And why would that interest you? And why do you want to make a contribution? It's still not enough just to hear the voice. You've still got to be able to convert that into something. You've still got to find the skills that go with it. Because I hear many people saying that the career they want to do is they have a passion for children. What do you do with children? Not much sure anything. What do you mean by the financial industry? No, well, I've really got something to say about finances. What exactly do you want to say? No, I'm not sure, but I know it's there. So you've also got to move it into the area of skills. I mean, speaking to people around the world that are involved in that field. I mean, buying the journals, getting onto the mailing list, joining the memberships. Becoming so involved in that field, there's not a soul in that field that doesn't fascinate you, that you're not connected with. You've still got to manage yourself through that process, and you've still got to get paid to do it. So it's not enough just to hear a voice and say, I have a passion, and therefore I'm frustrated that I'm in the wrong job. You've actually got to put it to work. The second thing you've got to do is to begin to explore it. And the exploring, often I notice, doesn't have a structure. Part of the exploring is that for yourself to have enough information to make a good decision. Many of the things that we help people explore, for example, are what people who are doing well in a field are doing well, the things they don't like. What are the changes in the field? perhaps your exploring is going to be part of conversations you have with people. Maybe it's going to be your new dissertation. Maybe it's the books you read. Maybe it's the conversations you have. So from an exploring point of view, I want to suggest to you that you should just take your hat off and do something different and be bold and try it and ask, because, in fact, there's a wonderful book called Ask and the Power of That. And the worst that can happen is someone says no. The same goes for job hunting. There's a lot of work to do. And I think often we think career decision-making belongs to someone else. We don't do any assessments. We actually provide the work and systems for you to make those decisions. Your work is an opportunity for you to make a difference that you care about. It's not just about earning income. Pretty much every job on the planet pays. We have more choice right now in South Africa than we've had ever. So I don't know where you're on this journey, but perhaps it's time for you to ask some questions or just reassess where you are, or to confirm that you're exactly in the right place. One of the key programs we run, for example, is what we call the Career Warriors Action Week. It's a whole week where you can simply work through all of these processes, get to use them for yourself, and walk away with a toolkit. I'm into toolkits, not into decision making. It's not career counseling. We're not going to make a decision for you, but help you use a toolkit. Many people prefer shortcuts on their laptops, so there's a shortcut version, and the shortcut version is a one-day boot camp. And what the boot camp does, obviously, is not the whole process, but you'll get 3 key processes that will get you started. The one will be, how do you find the heart of the career and identify your skills? Secondly, how do you do a good research process that's really fun, that'll give you information? And thirdly, how do you job hunt intelligently? How do you actually find work out there that you're looking for? And the magic for me is this is not difficult. This is not heavy intellectual stuff if you know how to do it and if you're willing to do the work. So a boot camp is kind of that boot if you just need to get moving and you know what you want to do, and that's how the boot camp works. Did anyone in your schooling say to you, what do you love doing? What are you passionate about? What do you want to make the world a better place? Or do they say to you, what do you want to study next? And so, you know, we're watching that the Career Warrior School is a place for people at all stages of life that have suddenly discovered there's more to this than simply, you know, getting an honors degree. You can do that too, but make it work for you.